we're looking at the 10 great ideas of Paul the Apostle. And this whole week, we're just looking at some of like the must-know ideas that he leaves us in the New Testament. One of them today, I just think can really, and is personally just shaping the way I see 2021. Paul writes this in Romans chapter 4, starting in verse 16. Here we go. Therefore, the promise comes by faith, so that it may be by grace and may be guaranteed to all of Abraham's offspring, not only those who are of the law, his offspring, but also of those who have the faith of Abraham. Let me pause right there. Romans, this letter that Paul writes to the Romans, is all about getting people to understand the connections between the Jewish faith and the non-Jewish faith, and how God says it is your faith that saves you, not your religious background. This is important because Paul was both Roman and Jewish, and he had a thorough philosophical understanding of the Jewish scriptures, the Old Testament, and of what it meant to be a Roman. And so what I want to share with you in these next few lines is that Paul is inserting what is the most profound spin on how to view religion. He says, not only are those who are of the law children of Abraham, but those who have faith like Abraham. You don't even need the DNA. You don't even need to know the Jewish religion to be considered in on this kind of faith. And he says this, Abraham is the father of us all in that way. And then verse 17, this is the part I want you to hear. As it is written, I have made you a father of many nations. Abraham's our father in the sight of God, in whom he believed. And then Paul gives this description of the type of God, the kind of God Abraham believed in. The God who gives life to the dead and calls into being things that were not. So Paul's description of God is that there is a God who gives life to the dead and calls into being things that were not. This is a reference to, of course, literally the resurrection of Jesus, but also to many miracles we see in the Bible. And then it's also a reference to how God created the world, something that was nothing. There was nothingness, and God made something out of the nothingness. And I think today what this can do for us as we enter into a new year soon and very soon, we put 2020 behind us. You must remember we're entering a new year, and how you see it is up to you. And what it will become is how you are going to be projecting it through your mental vision. In other words, we believe in a God who gives life to the dead and calls into being things that were not. God sees things that even though they don't exist now, he believes in them, wants them to happen, and you and I get to do that for our new year. What's something you need to believe again? What is something you need to start seeing freshly again about the new year? Is there one way that the last year has made you negative and cynical about something, and you can start undoing that work? Whatever it is, would you remember that to be a follower of Jesus is to believe in a God who gives life to the dead and calls into being things that were not?